I'm 68 years old, and I need to say something I've been choking on for 4 years now. My wife died alone in our guest room while I was sleeping 20 feet away. And the worst part? She chose to die alone. She didn't want me there. I'm the reason why. Margaret and I, we met when we were both 19, married at 22, 43 years together. Everyone called us solid. You know that couple that just works? That was supposed to be us. But here's what people don't tell you about marriage. You can sleep next to someone for decades and be a stranger. You can say I love you every morning and mean absolutely nothing. My wife got diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer 6 years before she died. Doctor gave her maybe 8 months. But Margaret, she was a fighter, tougher than anyone I ever knew. She made it 6 years through sheer force of will. And you want to know what she did with those 6 years? Every single night at 9 p.m., she'd go into our living room and play piano, songs she was writing. She'd been taking lessons online, composing music about her life, about us, about everything she wanted to say before time ran out. I could hear it every night from wherever I was in the house. Sometimes soft and sad, sometimes angry, with notes that crashed like thunder, sometimes so beautiful it would make you weep. You know how many times I sat down and listened? How many times I asked her about what she was playing? 0. Not once in 6 years. I'd stay in my workshop, or watch TV with the volume up, or pretend I had phone calls to make. And every time she'd stop playing around 10:30 and walk past me to go to bed, I could feel her looking at me, waiting, hoping I'd say something, ask something. I never did. See, here's what I told myself. I was grieving. My wife was dying. I was entitled to my pain. I was entitled to deal with it my way. And my way was pretending everything was normal, that if I just kept working on my vintage car in the garage, kept our routines, kept us busy, maybe the cancer would forget to take her. I thought I was being strong. I thought I was protecting us both. I was really just a coward. About 8 months before the end, Margaret asked me something. We were eating dinner, one of those silent dinners we'd been having for years, where the only sound was forks on plates. And she said, "Robert, will you come to my recital?" I almost laughed. Recital? Like she was a kid. What recital? I said. I booked the community center for next month. I'm going to play everything I've written. My music teacher's helping me set it up. It's important to me. I need you there. And God help me, I said. Margaret, you know I've got the Corvette convention that weekend. I've had it marked for a year. She just stared at me. Didn't cry, didn't yell, just stared. And then she said, "Of course, the Corvettes. Corvettes. A Fristar, Ginvoldolto Bior." She stood up, put her plate in the sink, and walked to the piano. Started playing something I'd never heard before. Something that sounded like a heartbreaking in real time. I went to my workshop. She did the recital without me. Our daughter went. Our son flew in from Seattle. Her sister drove 6 hours. 23 people showed up to hear my dying wife play the music she'd spent 6 years writing. I went to look at cars I'd never buy. When I got home that night, Margaret was already in bed, door closed. I figured we'd talk in the morning. We didn't, because after that night, something changed. She stopped playing piano, completely. The house got silent in a way that made my skin crawl, and she started moving her things, slowly, piece by piece, into the guest room downstairs. "The stairs are getting hard," she said. That's all she said. But we both knew the truth. She was leaving me while still living in the same house. Those last 8 months, I'd try to talk to her, try to break through whatever wall had formed, but she was just polite, distant, like I was a neighbor she was being courteous to. She'd smile when I tried to hold her hand. She'd say, "That's nice, dear," when I'd tell her about my day. But her eyes, they were already gone. 3 weeks before she died, hospice came to set up equipment. That's when I knew we were at the end. Real end. I tried to move into the guest room with her, tried to sleep on the floor beside her bed. She said no. I need space to breathe, she said. That's all, just that. The night she died, I woke up around 2 a.m. Something felt wrong. That house was too quiet, not piano quiet, death quiet. I went downstairs, and she was gone, eyes closed, peaceful. The morphine pump blinking its little green light. My wife of 43 years chose to die while I was asleep, chose not to call for me, chose to slip away without saying goodbye. On her nightstand, I found an envelope with my name on it. Inside was a flash drive and a note that said, "These are the recordings from my recital. Maybe now you'll listen." I didn't listen to it for 2 years. Couldn't. Every time I looked at that flash drive, I felt something I can't even name. Shame, terror, grief, all of it. But on our anniversary, what would have been our 45th, I finally did. 37 songs. Each one had a title written in Margaret's handwriting on the track list she'd printed. The day we met at the county fair. Learning to dance in our first apartment. 3 a.m. feedings and whispered promises. The miscarriage we never talk about, when we almost left but stayed. Building the deck in summer rain. And then the titles changed. The diagnosis. Pretending we're fine. Music lessons as life lessons. Playing to empty rooms. The recital he missed. Composition for a man who stopped listening. Goodbye song for someone who's already gone. Each song was a memory, a moment, a piece of our life together. And the later ones, the ones from those last years, they were love letters I never let her deliver. They were conversations I never let her have. They were her trying to say goodbye, trying to share what she was learning, trying to give me her heart one more time before it stopped beating. I sat in that empty house and listened to all 43 years of our marriage, told through music I'd ignored while I hid in my garage with a carburetor I didn't need to fix. And the last song, 22 minutes long, was called Dear Robert. It wasn't piano, it was her voice. Recorded 3 days before she died, she said, "I don't know if you'll ever listen to this. Part of me hopes you don't, because that would mean you didn't need to, that you already knew. But I think you need to hear it. I spent 6 years composing our life together, 6 years trying to tell you through music what I couldn't say out loud anymore, that I was scared, that I needed you, that I was dying but I was still here, still your wife, still Margaret, and I needed you to see me, really see me, but you disappeared long before I did. You went to your workshop, your TV shows, your car conventions, anything to not be present while I was dying. And I get it. I do. It's terrifying watching someone you love fade away. But Robert, you didn't just avoid my death. You avoided my living. Those songs were my life playing out in real time. They were me saying, look, I'm still here. I'm still making things. I'm still alive and I have things to share with you before I go. And you never came. The recital was my last attempt. 1 night, 2 hours. Come hear what I've been pouring my heart into while you hid from me. Come be present with me one more time. You chose the Corvettes. I'm not angry. I've been angry. I moved past that. I'm just sad. Sad that we had 6 bonus years. 6 years the doctors said I'd never get, and we spent them apart. Sad that you'll have to live with that. Sad that I have to die knowing my husband loved me, but couldn't stand to be in the same room with my pain. I forgive you. I want you to know that. But Robert, and please hear me, forgiveness doesn't erase consequences. The consequence is that you missed me. You had me right there, fighting to stay alive, fighting to connect, fighting to share something beautiful with you before the end. And you just didn't show up. I hope when I'm gone you'll finally listen, and I hope it destroys you in exactly the way you need to be destroyed. Because maybe then you'll understand what it feels like to reach for someone who isn't there. The recording ended. I sat in that dark living room until the sun came up. 4 years later, I still can't go near a piano. I sold the house, sold the Corvette, sold every damn car I'd wasted years hiding with. My daughter barely speaks to me. My son keeps it civil, but there's nothing behind his eyes when we talk. They know. They know I abandoned their mother when she needed me most, that I chose comfort over courage, that I chose absence over presence. People think the worst thing you can do to someone is hurt them actively, cheat, lie, scream, but that's not the worst thing. The worst thing is to simply not be there, to check out emotionally while still technically being present, to let someone fight for your attention, for your love, for your presence, until they're too exhausted to fight anymore, until they accept that you've already left. I destroyed my marriage, and I never raised my voice once. Never had an affair, never missed an anniversary. I destroyed it by simply refusing to show up for the woman who was dying to connect with me. Literally dying. If you're watching this and you recognize yourself, if there's someone in your life playing piano or trying to talk to you or asking you to just be present and you keep finding reasons to be anywhere else, stop. Stop right now. Go to them. Sit down. Listen. Really listen. Not with your phone in your hand, not with one eye on the TV, not with your mind already planning your escape. Because here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You don't get those moments back. You don't get a do-over. One day you'll be sitting alone with recordings of a life you ignored, and it will be too late. Margaret's piano is in my daughter's house now. Sometimes when I visit, I'll hear my granddaughter playing it. She's learning the songs her grandmother wrote. The songs I never heard. My daughter won't teach me. She says I had my chance to learn that music. She's right. I've got maybe 20 years left if I'm lucky. You know what I do with them? I show up. I listen. When someone wants to share something with me, I put everything down and I'm there. Fully there. Not because I'm a good man now, because I'm terrified. Terrified that I'll waste someone else's attempt to connect. Terrified that I'll miss another goodbye hidden in plain sight. Margaret tried for 6 years to tell me she loved me through music. She tried to show me she was still alive, still vibrant, still his wife. She tried to say goodbye properly. I was too busy avoiding my feelings to let her. Don't be me. Don't be the person who realizes too late that showing up is the only thing that ever mattered. That flash drive sits on my desk. I listen to it every night now. Every single night. And I hear everything I missed. Everything she was trying to give me. Everything I refused to receive. She played piano every night for 6 years. I never listened once. And now, it's all I hear.